Hey there and happy Wednesday. I'm doing my third video of the week and my last video of the week so that I can spend time getting ready for Easter and family coming home and all that kind of good stuff. So hope you guys are doing the same thing and looking forward to a special Easter weekend this weekend too. So what I've got for you is some more retiring products. Not all of this is retiring so soon, but I will explain more of that as it comes. Hopefully you can see the two bikes there. Hi Rosina, hi Lisa. So yeah, I'm using the little bike dies from that Windmill kind of Dutchy Holland type set, some of that pretty paper, and then I'm also using the sentiments that I think fit really well with it from one of the retiring stamp sets right behind you. If you think of the two gals on the bike and everything, let me put down my iPad and get this turned around for you here. Alrighty, so yeah, like I said, I was excited to use my dies with a bike on there and thought, how can I do that? So, you know, trying to bring in some spring tulips and the dies, but where the sentiments are coming from here is the stamp set. And then you go, oh yeah, that's the one. I love the stamp set. So this is from the annual catalog here, and it's on page 84. So as far as I know, it's still available as of today, and it's still $21. I always try and look too to make sure that it's still the same price. And I just love some of these samples that they've done with it. And I'm just noticing here that they're using the same basic borders dies that I'm going to use here. So if you see that, I'm like, oh, that's really cute. And I didn't even notice that sample until just now picking it up. I would have loved to use this stamp set for you guys one last time. This one has already sold out, but I also know that it was super popular right away. It's been one of those long-running popular ones. Like some stamp sets just sell pretty evenly throughout their whole lifetime there. And then the other products, just to kind of give you a heads up where that's at, because I've really been focusing on the annual catalog retiring things, but the mini catalog, what we're seeing here is this is, we're not seeing this in the new catalog. We're seeing this, but not this. So those fun dies with a big windmill that I just used last month, and the bike and different things, that we don't see. So unless it would carry over when they let us know the retiring list, carrying over to next year's mini catalog, which sometimes is a possibility, I'm not sure. So I'm like, you know what, now's the time to use that little bike with today's stamp set there. And I've used these girls a couple times, like for fall and spring and everything. Yeah, so they're cute on the bike, and that bike die is so cute too. Isn't that true, Pam? Hi there, Lois. And then the pretty papers here, which I've used before for you guys, and just recently used those, and used a lot of the tulip fields and such for you from the mini catalog. So let me put that down. And like I said, I like to let you know things that are retiring, or even if they're not retiring, I like to let you know. So this ribbon here, the petal pink striped organdy, I love this. It's gorgeous. It's been around for a couple years at least, and that usually is an $8 spool, but that is on sale for $4.80. So you might want to, you know, keep that in mind too if you're going to place an order before this catalog ends. Hi there, Melinda. All right, so that is all from my notes for retiring products. But isn't this just like a really, really pretty color combination? Petal pink is kind of the card base, and then I'm bringing in that Poppy Parade. I don't use my Poppy Parade so much. It's kind of a nice bright popping red. I like the real red for the reason that I use it. You know, I like a red that's real, but this, you can tell, has a little bit of an orangey tint to it, but not too orangey. But like I said, it's great for a project like today when you just want a nice vibrant color to pop. So yeah, so that makes that kind of fun. What I think I'm going to do is start with these two pretty papers from the tulip fields. And I kind of want to show you a little bit bigger of these little sections. Here we go. So when I chose this, I was trying to think of like, okay, what can I put with it for my card, you know, to kind of have a second color come in. And on the back side of this one, it has this pretty thing here where you've got some blues and greens and such, and it kind of ties in with the blue background and some of the greens in there, and I'm like, oh, this is so pretty too. And then even the back side of this, just kind of a random cloud pattern would be pretty to coordinate with that. But I decided to, you know, still stick with this, but then this is kind of fun too. But I went with the polka dots. So that's what I came up with. But I like kind of showing you guys different patterns that are within that same set of pretty papers. And what I'm going to do is start by cutting into this one with my dies. Yes, Pam, tulips make me happy too. And you know that. Tulips are my favorite flower ever. Anybody that knows me knows that they are. And Pam, you probably know why, because yeah, that's where I was a foreign exchange student. All right, so I'm going to start with this piece that's cut 4 inches. 4 inches by 2 1/4. And then with that, I'm going to get out the basic borders dies. And I just used those last week to make it like kind of the cloud one to make it look like bushes. So this is what's left, and I'm just using this one. So my goal today was to make a hill because that's where I'm going to tie in my sentiments from that right behind you stamp set. So I'm just going to kind of center that by eyeing that across the top there, like so, and then I'll run that through. So not only do we get a nice border, but we also get that nice little stitched look too, which is kind of fun. It doesn't show up quite as much on designer series paper, depending on, you know, what you're using for designer series paper. But I do like that it's there, because on the plain cardstock it'll show up a lot. And then, like I said, the Windmill Fields dies. Like I said, I've been using these for that big windmill, and the fencing I've used before. There's some nice clouds, and then that. But that's where we get this cute little bike. So I'm going to use that from there. And that, for my card, I need a couple of them. So I want one in Petal Pink, and I want one in the Poppy Parade. So when that happens, usually what I like to do for you guys is just run one through and have the other one ready, because you guys get the idea of it's the same die being used, just different cardstock and such. And this one's pretty kind of intricate, I guess you could say. So I usually have to kind of help guide it off of my cutting pad. But this is where I can set that aside when I'm done with my machine. This is where I love, once again, that brush tip that connects to the Take Your Pick tool. So I can just kind of run over that. Kind of had to do it this way because the die didn't stick onto the cardstock and such. And so the little pieces there, I can just gently do that. I don't want to get too rough, because otherwise, who knows, I could get this wound up. I have gotten dies that kind of have, or the cardstock wrapped around that. And so don't always want that to happen, because it can kind of tear. So I've got Blushing Bride there, and then I cut ahead the Poppy Parade there just to save time for you guys. Now for layering, this card comes together now really easy. So what I did is I wanted this to have as much pop and center as possible for the card, but I also liked this for the matting, and I wanted to pull in the Petal Pink because I really wanted to use the pretty ribbon. And so what I did was did like a skinny, I call it a skinny layer. So usually my card fronts, you know, are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And so if I'm layering normally, I do 4 inches by 5 1/4, which this turns out to be, but my skinny layer is right in between there. So this one is 4 and let's see, now I have to challenge my math skills. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're just kind of fitting it right in between there. So I'm going to go ahead and tape the Poppy Parade layer down onto the card base here of my Petal Pink. But yes, it's called my little skinny layer. And I know when I did in-person stamp camps, I didn't try to make the skinny layers happen very often for people, because you can see that is a tiny little border on there. And for some people, that's almost hard to line up. So that's why I didn't do it too often, and probably why I don't do it too often now either. But it works. Okay, and then next, like I said, this is cut 4. Actually, this is 4 by 4 square. So I am keeping that 4 inches across like I normally would for like my next layer of a card. And then this is 4 inches across. Like I said, I started it at 2 1/4, and then some of the top part got cut off when I ran it through. And then that's just going to kind of meet the other pretty paper there, like so. And then we've got this. So now we have created kind of not only just a pattern break, which looks nice with the cut and then the little stitch on there, but now we have a hill. Yes, Missy says, I love the skinny layers. It does add a lot, it really does. And, you know, if I was thinking ahead, I could have cut my bike out of my, could cut several bikes out of my skinny layer, because that's just sitting there, and all you see is that tiny little bit. So, you know, if we had that crystal ball, like what cards am I going to make in the next near future that I could cut little pieces out, or, you know, matting, that's always fun to do, just to save paper too. All right, so I think what I'm going to do next is grab some of this pretty ribbon, and it says stripe, but it's kind of just like within the pattern there, that organdy ribbon. And I'm just going to put this around here like so, on the outside edge. And I'm putting the ribbon on earlier than I normally do. Usually it's one of the last things I kind of do for a card, but I kind of want to know where my ribbon's going to end up, so I know where to put my bicycles. And this, I'm just going to give it a nice tight squeeze and do a knot. This one's a little bit wider. I'm not always a fan when it comes to picking out ribbon. I tend to prefer the narrower ribbon, and this one's a little bit wider, but because it's organdy and really thin, it does really work well. It doesn't get too bulky or anything, so I like to let people know that. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so just here, like if you had this card layout, like you could take any of your designer series paper that you have on hand, and what Stampin' Up! Does so well is coordinates within the package. So you could do the same type of layout, just pick a ribbon that you know, coordinates with your paper colors and everything, and just start there. And you could put a big sentiment down here, up there, something like that, and just repeat this type of layout over and over, which is great. So now what I'm going to do is add my bikes. I thought about putting this through my my cutting machine with the adhesive sheets, but I kind of liked the thought of it not looking so completely stuck down. And I think it adds a little bit of a character, like if the handlebars are, you know, just a little bit off the cardstock and such. So now this is going to be going kind of up the hill like so, and putting those glue dots kind of behind the centers there, and in the basket you hardly see them. And I'm one that really likes to hide my adhesive, so if it didn't hide well, I wouldn't be using it like that. But like I said, I kind of like how this just has a little bit of you know, free flow to it without being so much. Okay, we've got that, and then I'm going to do that third glue dot there on the basket as well. Okay, and then I can put that down here on the lower portion of the card like so. All right, I almost thought I had a little piece of the bike poking through, like from not getting the all of it poked out, but I think it's the polka dot from underneath. Sometimes I don't get my take your pick to pick it all out, but I think we're good. Okay, so now we have a bike up here, we've got a bike down here, and now it's ready for the sentiment. So if you're just joining in, This stamp set that I'm using does not go with the dies or anything, but I love the sentiments that go with the bike. So the one I'm pulling out is Hills Are Easier When You Have a Friend. And I'm going to stamp that out with the Poppy Parade ink here. And I have a strip of basic white that's 3/4 inches wide. So I'm just going to center that on here like so. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut along the edge pretty close. I could have probably easily just measured that, but I thought sometimes don't we all like this much of give me room? And then with this, I'm just going to put some tape on here and then center that on my strip of petal pink here. Oh, I forgot to measure the width of this. Let me do that quick for you guys. So the width here is about 1 inch there. And then what I like to do then is just take and put it in my trimmer here, and then I can just trim that. So now it's exactly equal. I didn't do a full mat where there's petal pink on the sides, just the top and the bottom there. And now this I want popped up with some dimensionals. So I'm gonna do about 3 dimensionals across that, like so. And then that's gonna be ready to put across the top. And I like the pop of that Poppy Parade with that too. And I didn't want, you know, a lot up here for the sentiment to cover up, just because that paper is so pretty. And I just feel like this really ties everything together with the petal pink and the bike matching and this, and then having the double matte of the Poppy Parade and the petal pink all kind of comes together in a really fun, bright but not overly bright spring way. And now using that same stamp set, I did phone a friend. Actually, I did text a friend, like, hey, stamping friend, all of these would be great for the inside. Better together. You know, there's 2 bikes. Thanks for sharing the ride. We make a great team, always right behind you. All that kind of stuff. They all go together. And so I ended up with thinking that Thanks for Sharing the Ride was going to be the winner. And my friend helped me decide that too. So I'm putting that up towards the top. And then I also, in the stamp, I thought the dog was super cute, and I've used him and put him in the basket before, but I thought, oh, just these little flowers here will add a little bit. Usually I put my flowers down here in the corner, but I thought, oh, isn't that kind of cute to have the flowers next to the sentiment there, just for something a little bit different. Thank you, Jean. Hi there, Beth. And thanks, Missy. So yeah, it just all comes together really pretty quick. It looks like one of those cards that, oh my goodness, that took a lot to put together. And hopefully the person you're sending it to thinks you just spent all day on it. But yet once I put the idea together for you and you gather the supplies, it comes together rather quickly, which is good. And that's what I'm here for. Hi there, Donna. All right, so hills are easier when you have a friend. And so you can see the hill there and then the bike there. Thanks for sharing the ride. And like I said, I just love the pop of that Poppy Parade, just for something that's a little bit brighter this time around. So that is card number 6. Guess what, guys? I finally remembered to print out my April set of 10 note there with the host code. So let me get this turned around for you guys. And that, like I said, is card number 6 out of 10. So how you can get the, oh my goodness, that's really bright. All of a sudden the sun, like I said, I can never complain when that happens. So how you can get the set of 10 cards, even though I'm only on number 6, is by placing a minimum $75 order using that host code. And if you don't want to order and just want the set of 10 cards, you can always do that. And then the cost is $25. So sometimes if I put that in, then it kind of takes away the sun. Oh. Hi there, Paula. So yeah, then you can let me know either way if you want the cards, because some of you say, hey, I want the cards, and I really appreciate that. And then you have the rest of the end of the month to kind of decide if you want to order or how you want to do that or not too. So I appreciate knowing ahead. So have a great Easter, guys. I will be back with you guys probably Monday then with card number 7, and then I will finish out 7, 8, 9, 10 next week for you guys. And I'm excited to keep showing you different last chance items, because things are really disappearing off the list, and yet some things are on sale and still available, but I want you guys to get them while they're still available and on sale. So take care. Have a blessed Easter. Bye-bye.